What's up, everybody? Let's talk about it. The Russian and Ukraine conflict has just gotten out of control. So, I've been doing some research on my computer, and I've come to the conclusion that we're on the verge of World War III. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly why. But before I jump into that, I want you guys to go check out The Realist and the Visionary. They're a great couple who does a lot about conspiracy analyst videos. They talk about a lot of stuff, a lot of topics that everybody, all my subscribers know and love. The same things I discuss, they discuss, but it's two of them. Please check them out. I've had them on the channel several times. Had them on the channel a couple of times. I did an interview with them. They've been supportive to me. I follow them on Instagram. I follow them on Spotify. They're very, very great. They put out great information. So, guys, make sure you check out The Realist and the Visionary. I will have a link to their pages that you can go watch their podcast is on. It'll be in the description below. So, please make sure you guys go check out The Realist and the Visionary. Support them because they support my channel. Thanks. And I'm pretty sure they'll appreciate it. And let them know where you come from. Berto Conspiracy Files. Let's get back into it. So, this Russian-Ukraine conflict dates back to 2014, but even before 2014, it's been a lot of tension because a Russian-backed president who was pro-Russian Ukraine was ousted because of unrest, protesting 24/7. He fled in the middle of the night and ran off to a neighboring country. And since then, Russia has just not been a big fan of Ukraine. And they've been finding any type of reason to invade Ukraine. And now, guys, now they've gotten that reason. And they've invaded Ukraine. Like, the people of Ukraine are very hurt right now. And Vladimir Putin put in his soldiers' head that they were going to Ukraine to liberate them from neo-Nazis. Their country was ran by neo-Nazis. So these soldiers in Ukraine, in Russia, assumed they were going into Ukraine to liberate them and they were going to be welcomed with open arms. But that's not what happened. People are protesting in them. People are bombing their tanks. They're being attacked by civilians. They're not being welcomed like Vladimir Putin told them. But why is this? Why did he lie? This world is staged. That is why. It's staged. And we're about to be on the verge of World War III, and it will happen. And they're slowly doing it. They're not making it obvious, but they're slowly doing it. You see a lot with the West saying, "Oh, we don't want to cause a war between two major superpowers, or NATO and Russia. We don't want this war." But in reality, they do want this war. This is their goal. This is their goal. This is going to help them depopulate us. This is going to help the New World Order, the one world government. This is what they want. And they're trying to control us with these mind games. And it's baffling. It's very baffling. When in reality, all this is staged for one particular reason. That is to control the population, along with the several other things that tie into all this stuff together, man. And they've been playing us. Russia is not only going to invade Ukraine, but there are going to be more countries in line. You guys, think about this. So this is what makes it so obvious that Russia is going to invade more than just Ukraine. They made threats to Finland and Sweden saying, "Hey, if you try to join NATO, you're next." Basically, they made threats telling them that they would invade them if they tried to join NATO too. Strike one. Strike two. Vladimir Putin is forcing everybody. Well, I'm not going to say forcing, but his negotiations to allow civilians from Ukraine to escape and go to neighboring countries. He doesn't want them to go to Romania or Poland. He wants them to either go to Belarus, the country that's helping him right now in this war, that allowed him to put thousands of soldiers on their territory, or they can go to Russia. Those are the options that they gave him. Ukrainian civilians going to the country that's invading them for protection. And he's doing this because he's trying to make the Ukrainians feel comfortable about going to his country, making them feel like he is really trying to liberate them. All the Russian state media channels are pushing Vladimir Putin liberating Ukraine. Western-backed media is no better. They're making Vladimir Putin look like the next Adolf Hitler, which I do kind of believe he's the next Adolf Hitler. So those are more and more strikes, guys. And other things people aren't noticing. These small neighboring countries that are NATO, the United States are slowly putting troops in each of these countries, little by little by little. Think about that. Why do they keep putting 500 troops here, 2,000 troops here, 3,000 troops here? They're slowly building up, but without making it look obvious. Because U.S. intelligence has figured out that Vladimir Putin's main goal is to take over Europe just like Adolf Hitler did, and to push NATO further back west. Vladimir Putin, is not following the role of the elites. And now he's taking matters into his own hand because he wants to play his own game. But this is exactly what the elites wanted, and now they have him where they want him. They're gonna allow him to keep pushing and pushing, and then they're just gonna push him back, just like it happened to Hitler. They're gonna keep pushing and pushing and pushing him until he's in a bunker, ready to die. And then you have the New World Order coming into effect. Russia would no longer be a superpower. They won't. Putin will no longer exist. There will be a one world government. The nuclear war that's going to start from this is going to be catastrophic. So the world is going to get depopulated massively. Why? Because this is what they wanted. They want to depopulate us. The world right now is so divided. It hasn't been this divided since World War II. It has not been this divided since World War II. And the division is what's stirring everything up and helping their plan go along. We are in our end times, guys. And when this nuclear war starts, just know that is phase 2. Phase 2, guys. We're in phase 1 right now. That is going to be phase 2. Vladimir Putin already has his nuclear commanders on high alert. Is Vladimir Putin purposely not pushing through Ukraine and not, making it to the capital, or not pushing through the capital? Does he personally have his soldiers not doing the job just so he can nuke them and end it ASAP? He has Russian soldiers on Ukraine land that have been captured and prisoner of wars crying, saying they were lied to. Something's seriously just not right. And then you have the rest of the world sitting back, sending aid when nobody's helping. Why is nobody helping? Yes, we know they're not part of NATO, but everybody's condemning it. This is the biggest war in Europe since World War II. It's all because it's planned just the way they want it. Their agenda is getting pushed across. Thousands of people are going to die. We're about to see a big shakeup in Europe once more. We are about to see World War III. People are living lavish lifestyles right now. Billionaires living this, living that. We're going to see a war-torn Europe again, where all these people, their lifestyle is going to be gone. They're going to have to start over. Except for an elite group of people who get to keep everything, who get to profit off everything. You got to think the elites profit big time from war. They make a ton of money from war. And how these games are playing out, Putin is really, really, really playing his cards right. It looks as if they're losing the war in Ukraine. But they're winning elsewhere. And they're going to start nuking at any moment, guys. Within this month, I believe we're going to see a nuclear warhead hit Ukraine. We're going to see it. And then Russia's going to continue invading. Once Russia takes over Ukraine, they're going for Romania and all those neighboring countries. And that's when NATO's going to get the okay to jump in. Putin's already made several threats towards the West and all these countries with all these sanctions. And he said anybody that cuts off Ukrainian airspace is considered an act of war. So if NATO decides to say they make Ukraine a no-fly zone, it's an act of war, and Putin is going to attack. But he already has his intentions. NATO has this intelligence, so does the United States, and that's why they slowly keep putting soldiers there. Why do they have this intelligence already? How do they keep getting this intelligence? How did they know the war was going to start the day it did? They knew the same exact day that Putin invaded Ukraine, the Secretary of State from the United States, Anthony Blinken, said they were going to invade that night from intelligence. How did he know this? Because we live in a staged world. And not only that, there's a spy in the Russian government that's giving all this info, a high-ranking official in the Russian government that's giving all this info to the United States. You got to think. There are some people that are playing up under Hitler, but are really his enemies. And this is always like this with any kind of authoritarian leader, because people get tired of him. So they blackmail him. Not blackmail him, but they stab him in the back. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're about to see the fall of Vladimir Putin. We're about to see a nuclear war. We're about to see World War III. We're about to see NATO go in full effect. We're about to see the battle of the beasts. Ukraine has fought a tough battle. And they were put in this predicament by more than just Russia wanting to take territory. It was part of the West too. They used Ukraine as a scapegoat in order to sanction and cripple Russia so they can move towards their one world order agenda and their new world order. They are beginning the end. They are turning Ukraine into another Syria. It's going to be a war-torn country. If you guys see some of the offers that Vladimir Putin made in order for Ukraine to have troops pulled out of Ukraine and back into Russia, they want Ukraine to recognize the independence of those two regions in the country that were taken over by Russia-backed separatists. They wanted Ukraine to recognize them as independent states. Why? Because it puts a gap between Ukraine, NATO, with Russia. Puts a little gap between them. They wanted them to give up a lot of land to Russia. They basically want to shrink the size of the country of Ukraine in half. And Ukraine's not going for it. They're fighting. Those people are fighting for their land. Those soldiers are fighting for their land. They have something to fight for. So the Russian-backed forces, are losing because they don't have anything to fight for. Ukraine still has an air force. Shouldn't have an air force by now. Ukraine is winning the battle. May not win the war, but they're winning the battle. And there's an elite agenda right now. Very powerful people are pulling strings and they're making tons of money off of this. They had to use Ukraine as the scapegoat. They used Ukraine. They allowed them. They put them in a situation to where they're gonna get blown to bits by Russia, and they're not gonna come send nobody in to help them, but they send military equipment and stuff like that. There are people volunteering around the world to help Ukraine, giving up their own lives for a country that they were not born in. So if you think about it, are those really citizens? No. These are military personnel from countries that they're using them saying that they're civilians. These are not civilians. These are military personnel that they're sending over there secretly to damage Russia a little bit more. So when the time comes to fight Russia back, Russia has been completely annihilated. In the push, they can make a strong push. So when you guys see on the news 16,000 people signed up to go help fight in Ukraine, those are 16,000 soldiers they're sending to Ukraine. Think about it. Guys, we're about to see World War III and the fall of Vladimir Putin. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget, guys, Realist and the Visionary, go check out their channel.